hydrated?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, welcome to podcast number 3. I'm Gray.
And I'm Steve, and we're going to talk guitars and a whole bunch of shiny things.
Oh, yes.
So, you know how we don't like pedals? Well, that's not fair, is it? It's not that we... No, that's not fair. I shouldn't say that.
It's not?
Is it? Would you say you don't like pedals? You're anti-effects?
I feel like I would use those terms to describe myself. Is that wrong?
I think it is. I think if you listen back to the last podcast, you were quite enjoyed your reverb on your old Marshall.
Pedals, though. It's not a pedal.
Okay. I did say effects, though. So, I bought one, but I bought it for obviously a very specific reason.
An old Marshall?
No, a pedal.
It better be for a bike, Steve.
It's not, no. I'm afraid. It's most definitely not. It's the Digitech Drop.
Oh, you must be the author of that fantastic video I've seen about that on YouTube.
That's the one. Yes. It's just been hailed left, right, and centre. Must be about 5 views now, I think. 5 views, half a comment.
It seemed like it did some sort of reasonable job at what it set out to do and didn't make a stupid underwater flangey noise, for example.
I think that's the crux of it. This could be discussed in about 2 seconds. This pedal of what it does one thing, but it does it really well. I think it just goes down. You can tune your guitar all the way down to full octave down, and I would say for most of those settings, for each note that you drop down, most of them, it does it really, really well. I think when you get to an octave, it does sound a little funny. The very last setting is an octave and your original pitch, your root note, and that sounds cool. That's a nice kind of harmonised thing that's going on. I like that.
I've got a question about that, but let's do the other bit first.
Okay, and obviously because the band are in, we're E flat, but it's amazing what dropping down one note does to the tension of your strings. You wouldn't think it would be that big a deal, but I really enjoyed my strings being at standard tuning, that tension, and when I saw this, I thought that could be the trick. Did my research and thought, yeah, to hell with it, I'm gonna get it.
So the idea was keep your guitar in concert, right, tune to E.
Yep.
But you can sort of emulate any down tuning by using a pedal, right?
That's correct. Yeah, it's just a big knob.
And are you saying that Slash is a fairy because he tuned down to E flat?
That's right. Let it be known.
Okay, it's official.
I will take him.
Take him
for lunch.
Right. So it kind of works for this, right? Because I saw your video and it doesn't sound all funny like it used to.
No, I was really surprised at that. But definitely works really well. What
I mean by that is like way back in the 90s, like our college kind of time, I had a little half rack effects thing that did that. I mean, it did a bunch of other stuff, but it did that. And like as soon as you tuned down, even to E flat, right, just a half step, you could tell something funny was going on with the tone. It sounded immediately false, like a little bit warbly and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I just, you don't update your impressions of things. It's like, well, those don't work. It's like as if people haven't been working on stuff for 15 years. Like it's, yeah.
That is exactly what I was expecting. Even if it was just a small smidgen, of that in the pedal, I thought it's going to have to do that. That's just what I was expecting. And all the videos and all the stuff, all the research I did before buying it, seemed to say that it was absolutely concrete. And I can definitely say it works a treat. I did a 3-hour rehearsal on Sunday using it on the E flat. Yeah, brilliant. None of the guys in the band could tell. They had no idea what was going on. In fact, Paul knew I was using it, the other guitarist, and he said that really tracks really well. I was like, yeah, it really does.
So you've still got, like, it still sounds lively and it's got attack and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
I mean, obviously on the video it sounds great, but it's a different thing, right? In rehearsal at volume and all that stuff.
Well, I was particularly looking forward to getting it at volume so that I couldn't hear the excess, the guitar's tone just from the twangy strings.
Yeah, the acoustic part of your guitar.
The acoustic part.
That is the other part that used to throw me, because I only ever played with that thing probably around, just at home, and then you obviously hear this horrible dissonance, right, between like it's one tone or one semitone down or something, and it's horrible.
Yeah, I was playing today, and that's exactly. I forgot about it. I was jamming along with the tracks. And I'm playing, I'm thinking, this was the tracks that were recorded on Saturday, or just on a phone. But when I was playing, I was like, oh, something's out. That's really weird. But of course, that's exactly what was happening. I was hearing the acoustic from the electric coming out, ringing out, and not cranking my amp enough so that I could drown myself out. But that's not always a pleasurable thing to do at home.
Okay, no. So the thing is as well, we should have realised that this stuff had gotten better, because whenever you see people, like you see Vi use the whammy pedal and stuff, like that sounds good.
Yeah.
Right, and that's Digitech as well, right? And that's been out for absolutely ages.
Yeah, this is from this technology that's in this is simply taken from their whammy pedal that they had.
Right.
So they just thought
they've done it in notches, kind of thing. You can just select to like go down.
Well, yeah, I guess there was a demand for it, or they wouldn't have done it. I would imagine to just take that element out of the. I mean, I think they were quite expensive pedals. I paid about £100 for this pedal.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whammy pedals were quite pricey. I think maybe well over £200.
Okay.
And they were always quite good. I remember Paul Gilbert, who was fixed bridge for quite a long time. And he would always have that,
right,
and it did, it was different. You could hear it was very different. It was a very pure, descend or ascend, whatever way he was using it. But it still worked really well. It was still super effective. True bypass as well.
On yours or that thing?
On mine. I don't know about that thing.
And so it looks from the video, right, that you just, every time you turn the knob down, it just goes down a semitone, and it does this all the way down to 1 octave, right?
That's right, yeah.
You can't tune it up at all. I know these days no one would want to. It's all about getting down tuned.
Yeah.
But it just goes down.
It just goes down, yeah. I guess you just tune your guitar up, right? If you're going to go that way.
And it seems like it's a good, believable tone in the video. It sounds like if you were to close your eyes and didn't know that was happening, you could imagine that was a down-tuned guitar, right? That's basically the goal here, and it seems to work.
I think it definitely works that way. Probably more that way than say hearing the reference tone, and then switching the pedal on. I think if you just had it on, I've recorded a track. I know I sent you a track as well where I dropped it down so that it's a B to mimic a 7-string.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. If I actually was the owner of a 7-string, I know Korn and who doesn't tune them down
even more, right?
I know,
don't
like this, like the low B isn't enough anymore, right? So
it has to be A or beyond. I wouldn't do that. I would be so happy with just having that B. I mean, I can't imagine I would want to go much lower than that, to be honest. And I love how simple it is, right? It's just one big knob. It's got a little switch actually, which I didn't demo in the video. And give me 2 seconds. I'll just see what it says. Entry. So basically, the switch. It's supposed to act a little bit like the whammy pedal. So if you're just in standard and you set it down, or sorry, the other way around. If so, you've got your drop tuning that you desire. Let's say it is down to B. So what's that? 5 notes down. And you put that wee switch the other way. The idea is that when you hit the pedal, it doesn't switch it on and off. It's just a toggle. So it'll just toggle to your normal tone. So the idea is that it will do that kind of woo, wee, wee. It'll just jump to that higher pitch, your original pitch, and then come straight back to the drop tuning that you've selected.
So you can kind of get those whammy pedal effects from it.
Sure, yeah. I've tried doing it with just my hand, which is terrible. I've seen other people on YouTube demonstrating it with their actual foot, so it seems to work a lot better when it's on the floor.
Well, so it's a pedal, duh.
Yeah.
Tried doing it with my hand. What are you playing your guitar with at this point?
I just wanted it to set it at the tuning I desire and stick it on the head. That's enough
right,
for me.
Just leave it, yeah. Set and forget.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so my one question was, when you bought this, I went and read a wee bit about it to find out what was going on and stuff, and I saw that it had that octave harmonizer effect thing as well.
Yeah.
So all that confused me about that is, I feel for something to down tune you, I want to put it in the front of the amp. But something that does any kind of harmonizing, which is like a time-based effect thing, I'd want to put it in the loop. So,
right, okay.
But it still works normally in the front of the amp.
Yeah, it's great.
Because you see what I mean? In that case, you're distorting both those tones together. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I see what you mean. Yeah, it honestly, it sounded fine.
Still sounds right.
Yeah. Because, I mean, and that's such a... I mean, you're not going to use that a lot, that effect. That would just be a part of a track or something to it. You would probably have a specific device to handle that. Maybe if it was going to be on a lot and you wanted to put it in your loop, you certainly wouldn't buy that pedal and do that with it. But it did sound good, and it is in the video. And maybe we should put a wee link somewhere for that video.
No, I'm not linking your videos, no.
So I'll get that done later. So it's there, and I don't think I play too much on it. I do the usual. I do the riff and a little bit of lead. I think still using that effect, which is the last one on the list. But yeah, I'm couldn't be happier with it.
So you bought it for a certain job. It does it really well, and you're stoked.
Totally, yeah.
Don't often get that, do you, these days with a product?
Not a lot, no. It's got to be said.
You started out with how we feel about pedals.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say that probably because of the thing that I just can't be bothered with pedals, I just don't want the hassle, you know. That's why I don't tend to play those English Strats I've got, but I recently got a couple of them out of storage, let's say, to noodle about with them. A bit like one of the things is the pickups on those are so weak that you just need an overdrive pedal to push them even to normal like pickup levels. I think they're quieter even than a normal like Fender single coil.
Really?
Yeah, they're just absolutely tiny output. They just whisper.
Wow.
I'm no engineer. I think it's got something to do with the way that they do the hum cancelling, the way that they're stacked, the way that they are. Right, it's like two coils on top of each other, I think it also cancels out a bunch of the actual sound, like the actual output. You know what I mean? Because of the way that they're covering the same frequencies as each other. I don't know, but anyway, I've had these, these or Strats like them for years, and they've always just been that way. It's part of the thing. It's part of the territory.
Yeah,
you need an overdrive pedal to help them out and to get that sound. But because that little Yamaha THR10X that we both play, little baby size practice amp, because that's got so much colossal gain, that's the first amp that I've been able to just actually play those Strats with, like without needing a pedal or anything.
Do you know, that's so cool that little amp can give you that. That's fantastic.
It's got so much available. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. We haven't spoke about them.
We've mentioned them a bit.
We've maybe mentioned them, yeah, but I mean, God.
Wow. I wanted to, I know, because we love those little things. I know we've got
very much.
Something though that's still weird, just to go back to the Strats, is that they're both the same. They're both Malmsteen models, got the same wood, same model of pickups. I've even set them up like with a little steel ruler and all that, so that the pickups are the same height from the strings, all of that stuff, and they still play and sound different to me.
That's amazing.
And I don't know. I know that each piece of wood maybe sounds different. I've always thought that. I know that at the moment some people think that's nonsense and that it's all pickups and electronics. But something's going on there, and it proves something. I just don't know what.
It is odd. That's a great example of it. They're both older, aren't they? They're both older body.
Older
maple
body,
neck, maple fretboard.
Yeah.
They both got the brass nut.
Brass
both
nut.
got the same tremolo?
Yeah, the vintage, bent steel saddles. I mean, that's just a Malmsteen thing, right? He's just always had that.
Fender tuners and stuff?
Yep, it's those kind of classic ones with the little hole that you put the little string end into.
Both got the big headstock?
Yeah, they've even both got that yet. I used to have, as you know, right? I used to have a little Sonic Blue Malmsteen Strat that had the little 50s headstock. That was a cool guitar. But no, these both have the big 70s headstock. All this different spec-wise is one of them's got slightly deeper scallops, and it also has that.
That's it.
Is that it?
Yes.
So just put it down to that.
That's
Done.
it. Moving on.
Dr. Steve has solved it.
That is weird. What is that then? Why does that happen? And it's not that you're mad. It's not that your mind's playing tricks on you. You're just, you're genuinely hearing a difference.
Yeah, I suppose the real thing to do would be to have somebody else play them, right? And not tell me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right, a blind test, right? And then I'd have to keep identifying consistently, constantly that was like, oh, that is guitar 1 and that's guitar 2. Every time you switch, I know which one you're playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sound different to me, and it makes it tough for me to decide, because I've been lately thinking I should dump one of them. There's no point in having two identical guitars. It makes it tough to decide which to keep.
Yeah. So, have you said that because they are different, have you said that there's one that you actually do go, oh, I think I like that a little bit better, or are they just different but great? It's just two amazing sounds.
The problem is that I feel like one sounds best and one plays best, and they're not the same one.
That's the worst scenario.
So that's why I've still got them after all this time.
What? Well, you know what to do. Change the pickups. Change the pickups over. Swap them.
What, just to prove that it might be the pickups?
Record what you've got. Then, because I know you're pretty quick at changing pickups, you could maybe give yourself an afternoon, right? Record what you've got through both guitars, same amp setting, same environment. Go and change the pickups over. Come back, do another record, and see if it is that. Maybe there is something in there. Maybe there's a shim, like a mahogany shim.
Is that your theory?
It's just changing the tone ever so slightly.
See, first of all, that sounds like too much to do, but then I realised that because the Strats, actually all I need to do is desolder the output jack, and then you can change over the whole pickguard
Plate?
and the whole...
Just take the plate off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be like two connections and it would give you everything, so that might actually be doable.
Yeah, it's the first thing that's came to my mind. I'm thinking, well, maybe even though they're the same pickups, aren't they? They're the same.
Yeah, they both have an HS3, which is the old classic Malmsteen pickup at the bridge, and then the other two are YGMs, which is it's basically an HS3, but they've like staggered the magnets in that vintage way. You're probably not even relating to single coils, you don't know that shit's going on, but
no.
The wee pole pieces that stick up, like in the 50s, were staggered a bit different for the string balance, and so that's all they've done.
Right. Their single coils to me are the annoying plastic bit that gets in the way in the middle.
Right. That. Well, obviously these are Malmsteen guitars, so that's screwed right out of the way, that middle one.
Right.
Just like he does, right? You don't need that shit getting in your way.
Absolutely.
But it's been great fun to play them again, and I love that I've got enough gain off that wee box to not need to dick about with a pedal.
That is brilliant.
And still get way more to spare. That thing just pisses the gain out. It just has tons.
Do you still have the... I know he's got a signature pedal, but did you not buy the Dodd?
I did. I mean, you need that.
Do you still have that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if I was going to play a real amp like my Splon or something, I'd need to put that pedal in to get the bass Strat to work.
And you have a video, don't you, also? Somewhere?
At least I've got a few videos, I think, of those two together, yeah.
All right.
Many quality videos can be found on my channel.
Well, yeah, that's crazy, though. Fantastic guitars. I'd hate to have that decision. If that's what you really want to do.
It's a first world problem, isn't it? Oh, which one of my Malmsteen signatures will I keep? It's not that bad.
No.
You occasionally hear in the news about people who are in a worse position.
I have heard the odd broadcast. It maybe makes me wonder.
I wanted to pose you a bit of a question about the THR.
All right, I thought you just wanted to pose me somewhere anyway.
I'd love to pose you and sketch you. Intimately
passport's here somewhere.
Part of you. Well, I know for ages we've wanted to cover tons of THR stuff, right? Because we just love the wee thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually had a little bit of a question. I was wondering, right? It's been super popular, that range. If you're ever on a guitar forum, people are always roaring about it, right? The value for money and how good it sounds. Like you'd never expect it to sound good, being so small, having tiny little speakers, all that kind of stuff.
So cheap, the price.
Right. I was kind of wondering if you get any idea what you think they'll do next. I've stumped you. I've stumped you.
Hey, I suppose I do wonder about stuff like that when I buy a product. And I think, well, okay, especially technology, it just moves at an astonishing rate. Mm-hmm. And they've seemed that they put out various versions. I don't know if they made them all at the one time and then staggered the release, but they've got a few already. The acoustic amp, the boutique type one, the black one, I think it is. I can't remember what the model number is. THR just maybe 10 or 5 or something.
The 5 is the little one that's just dead simple and I think does acoustic, but the boutique one is still a 10. It might be a 10C for classic or something.
Yes, it's a 10C because a friend, work colleague's got the 10, which is the cream one.
Right, that's the first original vanilla one, right? The cover's basically all ground, right?
Yeah. It still has good gain. It still has good distortion of it.
Yeah, I did demo that for a while. It's got a Brit High setting on it, which again just has just absolutely tons of gain.
Yeah, really good. That's a really good one actually. But I think it's the same price, so that's what made me go, well, I'll want more, and that's why I bought the 10X. I didn't though think, well, what would they do next? Would they make it a little bit bigger? Would they have a different speaker set? I think that's maybe something.
That's where I'm headed. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. I think that's maybe where because hey, listen, if they can make it sound better, go ahead. But it already sounds fantastic. I mean, by sounding better, I don't mean the speakers. I mean the actual technology inside with the distortions and the cleans and whatnot,
Right,
the
yeah,
effects,
the modelling or whatever.
But I think the speaker could be the way. I mean, like you've said already, the speakers are great. It sounds and loud. What a loud amp! It's kind of akin to me, like just a hi-fi, especially if you do stick music through it. Its music sounds great coming out of that little thing. But yeah, I think maybe the speakers could be the way forward. What's your thoughts, or what would you like to see?
Well, see, now that is exactly what I would like to see. So I'm glad that we're on the same page there, because although it sounds great to me, I am aware that that it doesn't have like the kind of tightest bass, right? I mean, these are, what are they, 3-inch speakers?
Yeah,
the tiny little like ghetto blaster speakers, right? Yeah. And then it has this kind of bass reflex tube thing, because I've had mine apart. You've seen those pictures. Has this bass reflex tube to kind of give you some oomph in the bottom end, right, like ports and stuff. For me, that is where it could excel. Is just bigger speakers, like bigger cones, like even like not even full guitar size, right? But maybe like say 5-inch speakers or something. Like you have, like the monitors that you often have, right? Desktop monitor kind of size.
Yep, I was just about to say that, exactly that. Yeah, a kind of more monitor side of things.
Because when I was buying the 10X, I demoed as well. I think you maybe played one or two of them, the ID Core.
Oh yeah, I did.
Which like the Blackstar ID Core, which they do a little one that's got the same size speakers as the Yamaha. Then they do like one that's got maybe 5-inch speakers. And then they do one that's got maybe 8-inch speakers. There's a whole range of them. I played the one with the 5-inch. I think that's the ID20.
Right.
And this is the core one. That's the range that doesn't have the TVP, that valve modelling stuff, right? It's just the core.
That's right. Yeah.
And even at the 5-inch, man, there's something just a bit more amp-like about that. There's something about, when you chug or something, just...
Yep.
Right, a bit of the thud, a bit of the low-end kind of tautness is definitely there in even that 5-inch speaker that you don't get in the little diddly ones that are in the Yamaha. And I think that's its weak point. I'd love to see it with bigger speakers.
I think you're right. I don't think I noticed it at first. I was just happy because obviously...
First of all, you're basically stunned, aren't you? You're like... How does this have like pure brown, awesome distortion
when
from
I
this
first
little
played it?
Chinese box?
When I first played it in the store, I'd played the Blackstar stuff before.
Right.
I came onto this, and it was you telling me about it. I was part relying on what you were, the feedback you were giving me, and then I thought, why don't I just go and try it? So I did, and I was just like, because it's super easy, like some amps you sit down to, and you're just, especially multi-channel amps, the guy goes, right, so this is, he runs through what everything does, and he leaves you in the booth or something, and you're like, what did he say was the master? Because I don't want to blow everybody away, and I'm trying to find a decent volume, and I'm trying to work out all the EQ and stuff. Whereas this is really just one knob that you really need to worry about for all your settings. And I just couldn't believe how saturated that. It was just a brilliant tone, really good lead tone I got out of it that day in the store. Mm-hmm. And that was me. That's it. I'm getting it. I didn't get it there and then, right enough. A few weeks passed, and
but
I
that
thought,
made your mind up.
Yeah, I realised I was like, what am I doing? But one of the reasons I was so keen to hear from you, and you very kindly did a wee video, a wee test.
What did I tell you? Many great videos on my channel.
Many great videos. Most of them censored, but the direct recording side of it, that was what I was interested in. So we're talking speakers, but I was really interested in, and I think we should very quickly mention that it sounds fantastic recorded.
It does.
I think, I just loved when I got it back from you, and this was you pure USB right into GarageBand. I was like, take my money. There you go. That's that done. But then, of course, just jamming, just a very quick plug-in, because you don't want to fire up your your monster. It's just brilliant. It is really good. But you're right. The speakers, when you do play through your amp with a big 12-inch, speaker, it is an amazing. You know that speaker's giving you a lot. There's a lot going on there.
And then there's punch there that you're not going to get out of a wee.
There's punch, absolutely. And then these little guys, bless them, they do their best. But you're right, it does lack that. And I guess 5-inch. I mean, I mentioned
honestly,
12-inch.
even that 5 on the Blackstar, I thought it still has some nice real body to it. Not even
Really?
just the lows, but even when you're playing neck pickup but high type stuff, it still had more ability to do fat than the THR can.
Yeah.
But we know the THR has the goods in its brain because, like you say, when we record it direct, then it doesn't sound like a little amp at all. It sounds like a wall of big amps. It really captures something much larger than it looks.
Yeah. But I think you're right. Monitor size, like 5-inch.
So here is the thing. Here's the dilemma, though, that I see them having. It's been really popular, and I've seen many times on places like the Gear page people saying, listen, I would have a full amp of this, Like I'd have a THR combo.
Heads.
Or whatever, like about a full-size guitar amp. But of course, the whole, and I would as well, I'd love to have, or like you say, at least 5-inch, 8-inch, just something better. But the entire series was based around this idea of it being your third amp, right? That's where the THR part comes from, right? It was this idea of third amp. So you've got your gigging stack or whatever. You've got your practice, say, combo, like a 30-watt tube combo or something. And then you've got this tiny thing which is for the office, it's for the coffee table. It was the third amp. That was the entire thing. And so I feel like they might have shot themselves in the foot a wee bit, because then how do you transition that into being like, well, now also it's proper amps?
I think you're right. I think people will look at it as what it is now and then say, come on, Yamaha, you're not trying to seriously say to me that this is now £1,000 head or whatever, they've just made it bigger that you can plug it into a 4x12 and just, use it that way. It's just because the value of it at the moment, you can't really see it becoming something that size, because obviously the price will go up. It'll be a massive hike if they were to do something like that.
Well, but if they went, say, with 5s or something, and they just made the whole thing a bit bigger, it probably wouldn't be crazy money, right? Like here it's $300. I imagine they might do it for $450.
Sorry, if you're looking at that jump, that's not a problem. I was thinking more
if they go right into serious amp,
serious into the big leagues, because sometimes I'm playing through it and I'm thinking, I was just thinking the other day, I thought, this would be fine in rehearsal, in fact. Like if this was coming out of the cabinet at the rehearsals, I'd take it more than the Marshall 2000s that I'm playing through, and they're Valve. You know what I mean? I'd be like, no, I'll just have that. Thanks, that's great. And a wee pedal board to boot, to go between your settings.
I still think I probably wouldn't go for if they went full on serious, like you said, like an actual head, say, or something. That's not what it does for me, right? That's not what I want.
No, it really depends on how if they did, let me think. So the Mi Mini or micro heads, they're quite popular these days, aren't they?
That's true.
The Victory V30 and stuff like that. So if that was something,
and there's a little 51, 53, and
it's
a lot of little
66 PV have got the 6505, I think, as well.
Micro version, that's right. And there's even Friedman's, right? The pink taco is like a little micro head.
The taco, that's right, yeah. So if they maybe went when it's already kind of that size, but as a head,
it was going to actually power a speaker cab.
It's going to power your cabinet, and it was priced, obviously
not at tube prices.
Well, not tube prices, no, and not. Let me think, because even the Victory stuff being tube, and I think think they're made in China. I don't think they're made here, but they're still 800 plus for those amps. So they'd need to obviously, and Line 6 stuff isn't cheap either when you get into that kind of range.
Isn't it? I just avoid it. I feel like it still all sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm not massive. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they would do it though. I really don't think they would do it. I don't think Yamaha would see a market for them there. It's too busy.
Oh, right. Hopefully that is exactly what occurs to them. Yeah, because they've been really successful with this, and hopefully they'll keep it tight and understand where this thing should be positioned. But yeah, I would love just a slightly bigger baby.
Yeah, that would be it. Exactly. Just a bigger brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting something from like NAMM in January, but nothing happened at all. I thought they would catch hold of this momentum that the THR had and make some great announcement about what was coming. I expected to see a THR20, a THR40, something like that. I assume the wattage will go up at the same time.
Mm-hmm, of course.
I've expected some from NAMM, and since I've googled now and again, never anything about it. So I don't know what they're going to do next. I just hope it's fun.
Okay, yeah. So why did I buy this new guitar?
Well, I mean, if people listened before, they would know that you were a little bit like, I really would like if Ibanez did more RGs with maple necks.
Yeah, that is exactly it. I was hankering for one actually, and doing tons of research. Secondhand, eBay was getting hit daily. The UK, and as it turned out, with more and more research and a failed purchase, which I'll get to in a minute, led to the fact that Europe in general, just whether it's Ibanez decision or the stores, just simply were stocking rosewood fingerboard Ibanez guitars. There was super rare if you found an RG that had a maple fingerboard, and I think the ones that did were the premium blue gem, which had a maple, and the Andy Timmins, the very rare Andy Timmins model.
Although there's also a premium version of that which can't be quite as rare, right? Because it's not even that expensive.
Still haven't seen it in the store.
Oh, even that is rare. There's like a
guy in the store said they're just for whatever reason they just can't get a hold of them.
Well, let's not be rude, I guess. We've got a lot of lovely things to say about Andy Timmins, but he's not that famous. That might be part of it.
It could possibly that. Yeah, maybe Ibanez themselves don't make a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, think about that versus a Steve Vai or a Joe Satriani, right? It's not quite the same name recognition there.
And it's not got the 24 frets. It's not got the big lock and tremolo. It doesn't look... It's not got the colours. It's just, it looks like a Strat.
It's a really cool Strat, though.
It is. I'd like to... Yeah. Anyway. So... The failed purchase part was that a friend sent me a link to this particular model, RG652, and I was like, that is stunning. It just cosmetically, but the fact that it had a maple fretboard really, really floated my boat. And I found a Dutch store called Bax, BAX, and they had one, and I entered a chat with one of the sales guys, Kevin, his name was.
Are you going to slander them with all these names you're giving out?
I'm not. This guy was phenomenal. This guy was so good. Great correspondence, super fast. I'll cut this story down. I ended up paying for the guitar because it went from 6 weeks due into about 4 days, and I thought... And it's already a limited guitar. I should have mentioned that at the start. Ibanez aren't making a huge... It's not going to be a continuation,
So there might not be any next year, say?
Yeah, they could be gone by then. So I thought, I'll go for it. I'll buy it. So I bought it. A week passed, and I contacted Kevin, just saying, what's the deal? He then thought, well, I'll contact the supplier, and they just got back to him and said, oh no, that's not coming. So he got back to me. They had to reimburse me, obviously.
You know that somebody shifty saw that and thought, Jesus Christ, I'm having that.
Yeah, well, he said only 2 hit Europe and they were gone, like, almost immediately. So it turns out it was really made for the Japanese and the American market. So you guys have got it. Of course, the Japanese have got it.
Yeah.
And that's where we're number one. So that's where I turned to. Was not America, but Japan. Because a friend had knew one of his friends, a friend of, bought a guitar from a store there. And I thought, well, that's great. So it arrived safe and sound. Custom charges were pretty small, although I was prepared for the worst. I was prepared for maybe spending hundreds, perhaps.
When I used to live in Britain, I got hit for hundreds of pounds for importing guitars.
It's sickening, actually, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's horrible. It feels horrible paying it. You think, well, what did you do for this money? Sorry, you get me started.
Sorry. Give me that box. You don't need to be up in that. I paid, so I ordered it, I bought it. It took maybe just over a week. Actually, from Japan, it was, they sent it. It was like 2 days. It was in the UK. The customs guys had it for 4 or 5 days. It was down in England.
They're trying to land smoke on the water and stuff. You can just picture it.
I was picturing it, believe you me. And it was £89 for the customs. So I was actually pleased at that because I knew I had to pay something. So
no, that is good.
Yeah. So it's I don't know if anybody would be that interested to flash up a picture or something of it, but it is not hard to describe. It's a greeny blue, but it's almost got a kind of, I always think it looks kind of like almost oceany, or it has a kind of sea kind of.
It does. It's got that,
to it, perhaps a kind of coral.
To me, it's got that blue that you get from like great vacation snaps when somebody goes somewhere tropical and you've got the beach and then the water. It's just that lovely blue that you want to dive into.
It has, and a lovely wood grain going through it. And here's the thing for everybody out there. Ibanez generally, let's be honest, basswood or basswood probably makes up, I don't know, must be about 90% of the guitars.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Certainly the RG range anyway. But this is ash. The neck is maple with the walnut stripes in it to reinforce it. Mm-hmm. The fretboard is bird's eye maple, which again is a few comments, maybe one particular forum, just guys saying this super, super rare. They just don't touch bird's eye maple. It's just a weird thing for them to use.
Like Music Man use that every day, but Ibanez, I've been in Ibanez since the 90s. You just don't see that.
Yeah, and I guess bird's eye is kind of synonymous with particularly high-end guitar. My N4, the neck is bird's eye maple, which is kind of, I know the Guthrie Govan Charvel is, certainly the fretboard is on that. I don't know if the neck is also.
I thought even the whole body was on some of them. Well, the top.
Oh gosh, it is. Yeah, his top is. Yeah.
So, it's definitely a luxury appointment. You're not getting that on like a £200 Jackson.
Yeah, no, not at all. And binding, like the binding all the way around the neck, the body, the whole lot is kind of weird as well. But gorgeous, it just really sets it off. So I'm
gonna have to put a link to you've got a nice unboxing video which is quite sexy when you got the guitar in and then like opened the package up and all that, and
that was the first time.
So I'll pop that in the description.
Yeah, that's magic. And it really was the first time. There's some people I would imagine probably. You can see that
they're acting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. But no, this really was the first time. It's got what did I say? It's got an Air Norton at the neck and it's got a tone zone at the bridge.
But this one sounds different enough that it's okay.
It's got to be the Woods, perhaps. It's got to be the Woods, I think. It sounds great, the tone zone on this.
Well, you've got a whole different amp.
I certainly do, yes. And my taste has changed. I think my taste has changed since then anyway. I think I definitely like a little bit of brighter tone. So I'm not disgusted by it as I used to be.
Yeah.
it's nice. It also cuts through in a band mix and stuff like that. What else was I going to say about it? Yeah, this was a weird thing. This was yesterday, I think. I picked up my N4 for, it was only about 30 seconds. I just had a wee noodle N4 because I've been strictly playing the Ibanez since I got it.
That's what happens, isn't it? You always play favourites when you get a new one.
Absolutely. But the N4 just felt huge, absolutely huge.
Like wide or fat? Which way?
Fat. Really fat.
That can't even be right, can it? I don't think the N4 has a fat neck, right?
Like, I would never have said that, but having now been playing a 17mm at the first fret, the Ibanez is, it's just incredible. It's just super, super thin. And then going back to it, just having even that one wee shot on the N4, I was like, this is thin.
Yeah.
But I felt comfortable. I feel comfortable playing it. It feels kind of effortless, which is nice, especially for the shred stuff. So all in all, I just am so happy with it. Great guitar, great tremolo. First time ever being an Edge owner. My words.
I used to try and tell you this shit in the 90s.
I used to play them though in the 90s, and I was so used to the little TRS Pro that came with the Yamaha Pacifica that I've got, which now doesn't have that in it, but it was a dinky little tremolo, brilliant little tremolo, worked super, super well, but I always felt that the Edge tremolos were just a massive unit to move around. Not heavy, no, it wasn't heavy or anything, but there was something weird. It was so alien to me. It was just, I think the arm position was really different, all that kind of stuff. But now, and like I was saying to you, the locking mechanism, which is inside the posts, I had no idea was there, and thought it was a new thing. And then you put me right by saying, "Oh no, they've been doing that since the late 80s."
Since the 80s,
like
yeah.
that.
Since the Edge came out, it had that. That's its original design. So you're talking about the fact that the actual posts, the two posts that hold it into the body, have down inside them. If you take this really tiny, like maybe a 1mm Allen key, you go down inside them, and there's another little like Allen bolt at the bottom that you can tighten up, and that means no matter what vibration or changing strings or any of the rest of it, your action won't change. That the posts won't turn that hold the bridge at its current height. So no matter what you do to it, abuse wise or just playing vibration, all the rest of it, they won't budge. So you keep your action all the time. It's a nice little feature.
It is. It is a brilliant feature. My Goto that I got installed on the Yamaha has it. That was my first experience.
They stole that, did they?
I guess they did, yeah. And why not? It's
I guess it's a good idea.
Also another fantastic tremolo, actually. That I don't know the model number or anything, but it's a really, really good system.
The
but
Goto
the Edge
stuff's always good. You always have with it.
Yeah, it's Goto tuners, incidentally, that's on the guitar as well, which is awesome. Not that you use them too much when a locking tremolo, but still, it's nice to have some quality up there.
Yeah, every time you change strings, that's about it.
Exactly. You're like, oh, this is quality. Look. Forget about that. I suppose that's all I can say about the guitar. I do really like it. It is pretty straightforward. I like the fact there's no middle pickup. I suppose we could talk about the out of phase selection, which was I thought was an unusual.
It's not out of phase though.
It's not out of phase.
It's parallel, in it.
That's what I said.
I heard you. It's just other people might not have heard you correctly.
That's right. Parallel and out of phase, two different things.
Out of phase sounds like really small and tiny. It's because almost everything is cancelled, so all that comes through is like a shrill little noise. It's like the Peter Green sound, right? Is an out of phase sound.
No, I knew that because I think Ron Thal does out of phase stuff as well. He's got that.
It can sound strange, but it's also it can cut and have a particular appeal to it if you use it in the right points.
It definitely cuts, and that's one thing I noticed when I went to that parallel switch. I thought, well, it's obviously not. It did clear up a little bit. It got a little bit brighter, but nothing like out of phase. That was just squealing. I'd still like to do that to a pickup. Actually, I'd still like to maybe give it a go to see if it's something that I would enjoy. But I would probably maybe do it on the Samick or something kind of something kind of funky.
Well, you can do it on. You can get it. You can put it on a push-pull switch or something so that it's.
That's what I would do. Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's already got a push-pull.
That's. I guess right now that splits though. Do you really split the back humbucker on that? I don't know.
Nah, not really.
So you could move it over to be a phase switch.
But yeah, so still, it's parallel. It's the neck pickup, fourth position.
Right. So fourth position. We figured this out. Then we went through it and figured it out.
We figured it out, and then you went to the site, and it actually says, this is what it does.
You guys are right. You're geniuses. Well done.
Yeah, but still an odd thing because I was looking at Joe. My friend, he's got an old RG550, says that his is like that as well. And I was like, really?
No,
okay.
He's incorrect. Joe, stop it.
He might be right. Maybe it was done to his guitar.
Stop making things up to sound important, Joe.
It does sound like more of a recent thing that they would do rather than something back then to me. But
well, it's also because yours has two pickups, though. A 550 has three.
Yeah.
So in that position, in position 4, you get something like maybe one coil of the neck pickup, and then you get the middle pickup mixed together. I think that's what you get in that
should be what you get, yeah.
But of course, it could have been rewired. I'm only playing it's something they might have done. But I think it's on yours. It's because they've got like a 5-way and two pickups, so they're like. Right,
well, I was fully
what should we have this do? Like, there's only so many things.
I was fully expecting a 3-way. I just thought this will still have a 3-way. That's what it would be. But I was like, 5. What's going on here?
Yeah, fun little tones.
And this could lead in nicely with something else I was wanting to talk about. So I was on the Ibanez website, and we're going back to the Edge.
Every one of these shows you're on the Ibanez website.
So
I think
I was
you're
on there,
chill.
and on the site, and this is about 2 years old, so this is probably old news, and probably everybody knows about it. But I wasn't. I think I maybe heard about it back in the day, and didn't really know it was out for sale. I'm not insinuating in any way that this is something that I would buy, or that it is. I guess it's one of those things where they've invented something that you think, I never needed that, but I'm still thinking I don't need that. And it's the what's it called? It's the ultralight tremolo bar. Have we heard about the ultralight tremolo bar?
No, this sounds ridiculous.
Carbon fibre. On the site, it's old Joe Scratch Bafani talking about.
Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to cheapen him?
Sorry,
guitar royalty.
He is. He totally is.
And so nice as well.
I know. I'm sorry.
I feel bad. I'm going to edit that out.
I now feel bad as well. So anyway, Joe Satriani is on there. The great Joe Satriani.
Thanks.
And he's talking about it. And I think he was obviously very actively involved in it, because what the whole point of it is, from his point of view, is that when he hits his strings hard, they've figured out it's the bar
that does the classic warble thing.
That's responsible for the warble.
So you hit the string hard, and the vibration goes back into the bar, and it waggles a wee bit, and you get a brrr kind of sound out of your.
That's pretty much how I sound all the time, actually. Brrr. And yeah, interesting that they figured out it was the bar itself. I guess it makes sense that you've got that weight hanging over, and if it was to be, moved ever so slightly, it's going to make that noise. But so years and years in development, and
Come on.
and this is years
and years in development.
This is what the man said. Remember, Joe Satriani, guitar royalty. Hello, sir. I had a look at it, and it looks initially like all they've done is taken an ordinary bar and put a cover over it, a sheath.
That would make it heavier.
Over the top. But of course it's not. It looks like that. That's how it appears. The sheath, in fact, that goes along from the start of the bar, heading towards the actual input section, right to where the curve.
Where it plugs into the actual
tremolo. Where it plugs in, right where the bend is there. It looks like it's a big sock that's over the top of it, but that's in actual fact all carbon fibre. I think then that bit that plugs into the guitar is probably the normal metal bit, because that doesn't matter, right? It's right there. It's right above the
It's not going
tremolo.
to waggle because it's
It's
straight
not
up.
going to waggle. So that's it. So what made
It still sounds a bit needless, Steve. I'm not sure
well,
here.
it is needless. Of course, it's bloody needless. The hilarity bit was when I went and searched for the cost for this bar. The cheapest I found it at, and I think this might have come down in the last week or so because I certainly couldn't find this price then, was £59. So let's say £60 for a bar. But I did see it at like £70, £80 as well from, more rich, But this 59 is probably from a store I wouldn't normally buy from.
Yeah, and they'll
certainly
charge you
did
20 in
check out-
shipping.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't look into it because I probably wouldn't take the chance. I don't know. I'd need to research the store. I wouldn't just
Just
take a
drop it on
gamble
there.
like that.
That sounds ridiculous.
It totally is ridiculous.
I mean, I'll admit it sounds less ridiculous than when you first started because I thought you were just going to say like it's literally lighter weight, as in it makes your guitar 1 ounce lighter. You know what I mean? People complain about having heavy guitars. When you say lightweight, that's what I think. I think you're saving weight on the weight of your guitar, which people try, like on Les Pauls, right? Because they're so heavy, they try and save weight all sorts of ways. But it makes a little more sense that now you say it's actually to solve like a tonal problem.
Yeah.
But it does seem ridiculous.
It's just to stop the flubber.
I mean, just don't hit your string that hard if you don't want that effect, right?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like
how many perfectly fine albums have been recorded with people hitting the strings just how they like on their Ibanez's, right? And you don't hear, oh, it's got that warbly effect. That's a shame.
That's a good point. I mean, if Joe's he's putting it out there, he's like, yes, this is what I wanted. Let's go back and listen to your albums, Joe. Show us where it happened. Where did you hit your string too hard? It might be a live thing. It could be something that he's noticing more live when he's playing because he gets into it, and he's pure chucking it around. But then that's even less of a case because an audience
even more less.
Yeah, they don't react to stuff. Nobody's analysing you that closely at a gig.
When you're at a gig, you've almost no idea what's going on. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you can get with
I know that Steve Vai once got into trouble for saying something like "God bless their little cloth ears" or something like that. But it's not really the fault of the audience. I think it's just the way sound is at a live show. It's like where the volume is too much to actually accurately tell what's going on, right?
I think so. I think that's it. Yeah.
It's more that you like to see your favourite people in person and kind of chant along with the songs and stuff, but you know that if you had, say, a bootleg of it, you might be like, Jesus, they were a bit off that night, right, when you can actually really hear it.
Yeah. I think the first time I saw Dream Theater, I felt that, including myself, that the whole audience were just watching John Petrucci the whole evening. He was just under a microscope for that whole performance. But he was, in my eyes, at that on that show, was just phenomenal. Plus, it was a tiny gig. They were small, they weren't massive at this point, the way they are now.
Like,
and we were
92
right
or
there.
something.
We were right there. He was right in front of me, playing guitar, playing the show. It was like, it was that kind of level. It was just incredible.
But the thing is, though, I've seen plenty of live Dream Theater performances. He probably was totally on, and so were probably the rest of them. Right?
They were amazing.
It's not that you couldn't tell because it was live. Like they're a different kind of band, though, right? It's about performance with them. They're incredible musicians.
That. I know. Every performance is incredible. You maybe get James off a little bit because of the voice, but everybody else is just.
Why you got to pick on him like that?
I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying,
Everybody picks on James LeBrie.
I love James LeBrie. I think his voice is great.
Even my brother, growing up, because Brie is a kind of cheese, he would call him James the Cheese.
James the Cheese.
There's no need for that.
There's no need for that.
The boy does well.
He does well. He's been doing well.
The boy does well.
He's a new guy, though.
Well, of course, they chucked Mike Portnoy out, so there's another new guy.
That's true. Yeah.
So sad.
Mike for Mike.
Is it another Mike? I'm too angry to even look. I don't know.
Mancini, maybe? I don't know.
I find it tragic.
Like that. Mike was Dream Theater. Let's be honest, he was a huge part of what was going on there. And
Yeah,
I
and all the
hadn't really
community stuff and everything. It was always driven by him.
Always, yeah, he was so there, so
Getting
on
the
it.
documentaries made, talking to people on the websites.
He was so vocal. Yeah, he was. It was a shame what happened.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
All money. Damn
yeah.
you, James the Cheese.
It's his fault.
Right, we've gone kind of long this time. That'll do it for this episode, I think, Steve.
Far too much chit chat. Yep.
I mean, this is more than anyone's going to reasonably listen to, aren't they? They're all gone by now.
No one cares.
No one cares. See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard this story of when you get to more like our age, like band practice is a tricky thing to put together because of all that stuff, right? Because of
but
other
even Tony the bass player, he doesn't have children, but yet he's not always available.
bassist, though, you know.
Well, you know, yeah, could put his stuff in a backing track, it'd be fine.
He probably can't figure out the bus fare.
That's true. He's probably still there since Sunday, trying to figure out how to get home.